Друзья, привет! Hi! Мы с вами продолжаем тренировать разговорный английский язык, и вот мне пришла в голову такая идея записать видео на эту тему. Английский язык за 10 тысяч часов. Миф или реальность? Если вам нравится идея данного видео и само видео, то просьба поставить лайк. Окей? Thanks! И действительно, давайте с вами поговорим на эту тему. Let's talk about it. So, вы знаете, сразу будем писать на английском и тренировать разговорный английский язык, чтобы у нас были какие-то разговорные фразы, выражения, чтобы в дальнейшем вы также могли их использовать и все понимать на слух. В этом также суть данного видео и, конечно, информативность, мега информативность. So, some people say, некоторые люди говорят, some people say that it's possible, что возможно, that it's possible to learn English. To learn English in an hour, выучить английский за час, in an hour, or in 2 hours, or in 10 hours, или за 10 часов, or in 10 hours, or something like this. Или что-то на вроде этого, or something like this. Right, so some people say that it's possible to learn English in an hour, or in 2 hours, or in 10 hours, or something like this. So, do you think, вы думаете, это возможно? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible? Вы думаете, это возможно? Do you think it's possible? So, really, в действительности, really, what do you think? Что вы думаете обо всем этом? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think about all this? What do you think about all this? So, what's your opinion? Какое ваше мнение? What's your opinion? Your opinion. Please, пожалуйста, напишите об этом в комментариях. Please write about it in the comments. Please write about it. Write about it in the comments. In the comments. Write about it in the comments. Вы знаете, такая очень часто разговорная фраза. If you ask my opinion, если спросите мое мнение. If you ask my opinion. If you ask my opinion, I think, я думаю, that, я думаю, что 10 часов достаточно, that 10 hours is enough. That 10 hours is enough, достаточно, to learn the basics of English, изучить основы английского языка. I think that 10 hours is enough to learn the basics of English. Чтобы изучить основы английского языка. I think that 10 hours is enough to learn. Чтобы выучить. To learn the basics of English. Чтобы изучить основы английского языка. So, really, в действительности, what does it mean? Что означает? Really? Что означает? What does it mean? Что означает выучить английский? What does it mean? What does it mean? Что означает to know, знать или выучить английский язык? To know or to learn English? To know or to learn English? To know or to learn English? Right. So, let's повторим. So, some people say that it's possible to learn English in an hour, or in 2 hours, or in 10 hours, or something like this. Do you think it's possible? Really, what do you think about all this? What's your opinion? Right, what's your opinion? Please write about it in the comments. If you ask my opinion, I think that 10 hours is enough to learn the basics of English. Really, what does it mean to know or to learn English. So, it can be understood differently. Это может быть по-разному понято. It can be understood. It can be understood differently. Это может быть понято по-разному. So, to speak English, говорить по-английски, to speak English. So, the first thing, первая вещь, to speak English and understand, и понимать простые вещи, and understand simple things. So, I think that's the first thing, первая вещь. So, the second thing, to understand a lot, понимать очень много, to understand a lot, and to speak English. И говорить по-английски достаточно хорошо. To understand a lot and to speak English quite well. So, the third thing, третья вещь. To speak English fluently, говорить по-английски свободно. У нас с вами, кстати, есть видеокурс «Говорить по-английски свободно и без ошибок». To speak English fluently, говорить по-английски свободно. To speak English fluently and correctly. Обязательно посмотрите, если не смотрели, как говорить по-английски свободно и без ошибок. To speak English fluently and correctly. So is the third thing. Yeah, and number four. To speak English perfectly. Не просто свободно, а говорить по-английски прекрасно. To speak English perfectly. Говорить по-английски прекрасно. To speak English perfectly. В совершенстве. And to speak English perfectly, completely fluently. То есть означает совершенно свободно. Completely fluently. And очень важное слово, and accurately. Accurately значит точно, без ошибок. And accurately. So, these are это the four main things, but there is the next level too. Okay, so anyway, so let's have a look at it. So really, what does it mean to know English or to learn English? It can be understood differently. So, to speak English and understand simple things, to understand a lot and to speak English quite well, to speak English fluently and correctly, to speak English perfectly, completely fluently, and accurately. And number five, I think the most difficult thing. Right, it's the most difficult thing. The самая сложная вещь, the most difficult thing. To know English, знать английский, to know English like a native speaker. Знать английский как носитель языка. To know English like a native speaker. To know everything about English. Знать все об английском языке. To know everything about English. Знать все об английском языке. To know everything about English. What does it mean? Что это означает? To know everything about English. So, lots of English words. Очень много английских слов. Lots of English words. At least 50,000. По крайней мере 50 тысяч. At least 50,000. Next. So, the second thing. Вторая вещь. So, lots of English words. At least 50,000. Next, to know lots of idioms, идиом. На самом деле, курс будет скоро. Я еще не решил, 100 или 200 английских идиом. Скорее всего, 100. А может и 200, как зависит от вас, как вы скажете. Idioms. Далее. Следующее, значит, phrasal verbs, фразовые глаголы. Phrasal verbs, slang. What is next? Grammar, грамматика. Collocations – это устойчивые выражения, устойчивые обороты. So, spoken English разговорный английский, spoken English, но не просто spoken English, а real spoken English, настоящий разговорный английский язык, real spoken English. И, конечно, perfect listening skills, прекрасные навыки аудирования. Perfect listening skills. So you need to understand. Вам нужно понимать абсолютно все. You need to understand. You need to understand. Absolutely. Совершенно все. You need to understand absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. So it's obvious. Это очевидно. It's obvious. Это очевидно. So, you see. So the most difficult thing to know English like a native speaker, to know everything about English, lots of English words, at least 50,000 idioms, phrasal verbs, slang, grammar, collocations, real spoken English, perfect listening skills. You need to understand absolutely everything. It's obvious. Really, you need to speak. Вам нужно говорить. You need to speak. You need to speak like a native speaker, как носитель языка. You need to speak like a native speaker. It's very important. Это очень важно. It's very important. It's very important. Это очень важно. What else? Что еще важно? What else? What else can be important? Что еще может быть важно? What else can be important? What else can be important? Pronunciation. Only pronunciation, только pronunciation, только произношение. Pronunciation and intonation и интонация. Pronunciation and intonation. These things, эти вещи, эти вещи нельзя игнорировать. These things can't be ignored. These things can't be ignored. Right, so you need to speak like a native speaker. It's very important. So what else can be important? Pronunciation and intonations. And intonation. These things can't be ignored. Okay, that's clear. Да, это все ясно. Okay, that's clear. Это ясно. Okay, that's clear. What about 10,000 hours? А что касательно 10 тысяч часов? What about 10,000 hours? Why am I talking about it? Почему я говорю об этом? Why am I talking about it? Why am I talking about it? Actually, в действительности есть такая концепция, есть такая вот идея. Actually, there is a concept. Есть такая концепция, идея. There is a concept. Actually, there is a concept. Есть такая концепция. There is a concept. В чем концепция? There is a concept. Значит, о чем вся эта концепция? What this concept is all about. О чем вся эта концепция? What this concept is all about. Right, so it's a very interesting question. Это очень интересный вопрос. It's a very interesting question. Это очень интересный вопрос. Давайте с вами повторим и продолжим. So, okay, that's clear. What about 10,000 hours? Why am I talking about it? Actually, there is a concept, or actually there is one concept. What this concept is all about? It's a very interesting question. So, it means the following. Она означает следующее. It means the following. If you want to be an expert, если вы хотите быть реальным экспертом в какой-то области, if you want to be a real expert, in one area, в какой-то области, in one area, to be a real expert in one area. You need to spend. Вам нужно потратить 10 тысяч часов. You need to spend 10,000 hours to be or to know it, знать это, to know it perfectly, or to know it perfectly, to know it more. Знать это больше, чем просто хорошо. To know it much more. Знать это намного больше. To know it much more. To know it much more than really well. Чем действительно просто хорошо. Than really well. Than really well. You know, вы знаете, you know, I used to play chess. Я играл в шахматы. Я раньше играл в шахматы. I used to play chess. To play chess. I can't say. Я не могу сказать, что я новичок. I can't say that I'm a beginner. I can't say that I'm a beginner. Что я новичок. I can't say that I'm a beginner. And I can't say. And at the same time, и в то же самое время, and at the same time, I can't say, я не могу сказать, and at the same time, I can't say that I play chess. That I play chess, что я играю в шахматы как реальный какой-то мастер. That I play chess like a real master, что я играю там в шахматы как реальный мастер, but I play chess like a real master, But my level, но мой уровень достаточно близок к этому. But my level is close to it. I like this game. Мне нравится эта игра. I like this game. Мне нравится эта игра. I took part. Я принимал участие в различных соревнованиях, чемпионатах. I took part in different competitions. Различных соревнованиях. I took part in different competitions. Championships, соревнованиях, championships. I spent lots of time in chess. Я потратил очень много времени на шахматы. I spent lots of time on chess. I started playing chess when I was 6. Я начал играть в шахматы, когда мне было 6 лет. And I finished my career when I was 15. Я закончил свою карьеру, когда мне было 15. So I started playing chess. Регулярно. I started playing chess regularly or professionally. Профессионально. I started playing chess regularly or professionally when I was 6. Когда мне было 6. When I was 6. And I finished my career. Я закончил свою карьеру when I was 15. And I finished my career when I was, когда мне было 15, when I was 15. I had to prepare for the exams. Мне нужно было готовиться к экзаменам. I had to prepare for the exams. And I had no time for chess. И у меня не было времени для шахмат. I had to prepare for different exams. Нужно было готовиться к различным экзаменам. I had to prepare for different exams. And unfortunately, к несчастью, к несчастью или к счастью, I don't know. And unfortunately or fortunately and unfortunately, I don't know. Я не знаю, к счастью действительно или к несчастью. I finished my career. Я закончил свою карьеру. I finished my career. Right, so I finished my career. I spent, so, how regularly, как часто я играл в шахматы, how regularly did I play chess? So, let's calculate it. Давайте с вами это посчитаем. Let's calculate it. So, 3 days a week. 3 дня в неделю. I think it's about 5 hours. Right. 4 or 5 hours. Usually 5 hours. 3 days a week, 5 hours. Okay, 4 hours. So 3 days a week, 4 hours. So how much is it in a month? Как много это в течение? How much is it in a month? Как много это в течение месяца? In a month. How much is it in a month? And in a year. И в году. How much is it in a month and in a year? So you see, so if it's 4 hours, so 3 days a week, it means, это означает 12 hours. So it's 12 hours a week. Это означает 12 часов в неделю. It's 12 hours a week. And so around, около, around это около или about, это все одно и то же. Around 5, давайте about, часто about 5 hours, около 50 часов получается в неделю. About 5 hours a week, or not a month, so it's joke, a month, sadly a month. So about 5 hours a month, so in a year, за год получается 600 hours a year. Получается 600 часов за год. 600 часов за год. You know, you may think, возможно, подумаете, you may think that, что есть летние каникулы, that there are summer holidays, so it's less. Таким образом, это меньше. There are summer holidays, and it's less. И это меньше, and it's less. Right, это верно, right. But sometimes, но иногда вам нужно готовиться к занятиям. Sometimes you need to prepare for the lessons or something like this, and it takes more time. Это занимает больше времени. So I wrote, таким образом я написал 600 hours. Okay, it's approximately. Это приблизительно. You need to prepare for the lessons or something like this, So approximately, приблизительно. Approximately. So I play chess for about 10 years. Я играл в шахматы. I play chess for about 10 years. 10 часов. It's around, это около 10 лет, это около 6000 часов. It's about 6,000. It's about 6,000 hours. 6,000 hours. I have achieved a lot. Или можно сказать, я достиг, да. Я достиг многого. I achieved a lot. Я достиг многого. I achieved a lot. So I was playing chess professionally. Я играл в шахматы профессионально. I was playing chess professionally. So really, okay, so I achieved a lot. I was playing chess professionally. So a month and in a year, 10 hours a week, about 5 hours a month, 600 hours a year. You may think that there are summer holidays and it's less, right? But sometimes you need to prepare for the lessons or something like this. Или что-то на вроде этого. Approximately, I played chess for about 10 years. It's about 6,000 hours. I achieved a lot. I was playing chess professionally. Okay, so let's go on. Let's продолжать. So, I achieved a lot. I was playing chess professionally. So, you might think, возможно, думаете, or we might think, возможно, можем подумать, we might think that, мы, возможно, можем подумать that, you know, if I, если бы я занимался бы шахматами профессионально 10 тысяч часов, давайте сами это скажем, это условное наклонение в прошедшем времени. If I had studied, у нас с вами это разбирается в видеокурсе 150 английских конструкций. If I had studied English, if I had studied, not English, if I had played, если бы я играл бы в шахматы, if I had played chess, for about, в течение, for about 10,000 hours, I would have reached, я бы достиг, I would have reached, я бы достиг, I would have reached a very high level, я бы достиг очень высокий уровень, I would have reached a very high level. It's partly right. Это частично верно. It's partly right. But not absolutely. Но не совсем. But not absolutely. It's partly right, but not absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about it. Давайте с вами это поговорим. Let's talk about English. Let's talk about English. Let's talk about English. Давайте с вами поговорим об английском. Let's talk about English in English. Давайте с вами поговорим об английском на английском. Let's talk about English in English. Right. Верно. Right. So, you know, вы знаете, you know, люди обычно учат, people usually study English. People usually study English at school. Люди обычно изучают английский в школе for 10 years. 10 лет. Correct me. Поправьте меня, если я не прав. Correct me if I'm wrong. Или if I'm not right, если я не прав. Correct me if I'm not right. So, people usually study English at school for 10 years. Correct me if I'm not right. So, 9 months every year. Каждый год, соответственно, давайте еще раз повторим. So, I achieved a lot. I was playing chess professionally. We might think that if I had played chess for about 10 hours, I would have reached a very high level. It's partly right, but not absolutely. Okay, we'll talk about it later, but now let's talk about English in English. So, right, you know, people usually study English at school for 10 years. So, correct me if I'm not right. 9 months, 10 месяцев, no, about 9 months a year, So, how many English lessons? Как много у них обычно уроков английского языка? Или у вас там, у них how many English lessons do schoolboys, школьники обычно имеют, do schoolboys usually have? How many lessons, или просто do they usually have? Как много у них обычно уроков? How many English lessons do they usually have? I suppose, я предполагаю, это каждый день. I suppose it's every day. Это каждый день. I suppose it's every day. So, one lesson One lesson a day. Один урок в день. One lesson a day. They usually study. Они обычно учатся, школьники. They usually study 5 days a week. 5 дней в неделю. 5 days a week. 5 days a week. 5 days a week. So, таким образом, so it's 5 lessons. So it's 5 lessons. So it's 5 lessons a week. About 20 lessons. About 20 lessons a month. Около 10 уроков в месяц. And about 180 lessons a year. Около 180, about 180 lessons a year. So, and in 10 years, it's about this. It's 1,800 lessons during, во время всего школьного периода, during the whole school period. During the whole school period. Is that all? Это все? Is that all? Is that all? Okay, so you see, 9 months a year. How many English lessons do you usually have? I suppose it's every day, 1 lesson a day. They usually study 5 days a week. So it's 5 lessons a week, 20 lessons a month, 180 lessons a year, and 1,800 lessons during the whole school period. Is that all? I think not. Я думаю, нет. Why? Почему? I think not. I think not. Why? So, what about homework and preparation? Что касательно домашнего, что насчет такая фраза разговорная? What about? А что насчет? What about homework? Что насчет домашнего задания и подготовки and preparation? И подготовки. I think it's the same time. Я думаю, что это то же самое время. I think it's about. Это приблизительно то же самое время. It's about the same time. It's about the same. So, таким образом, we need to, нам нужно умножить. So, нам нужно умножить. We need to multiply. Multiply – это умножить. We need to multiply. Just add. We need to multiply 1,800 by 2 на 2, and you'll get, и вы получите, and you'll get 3,600 lessons. Yeah, right. So absolutely right. Lessons or hours? Lessons. But we are talking about hours. Lessons or hours. Уроков или же часов. Lessons or hours. Уроков или же часов. Right, so lessons. But we are talking, но мы с вами говорим о часах. But we are talking about hours. Но мы с вами говорим о часах, but we are talking about hours. How much is it in hours? Как много это в часах? How much is it in hours? How much is it in hours? So, is that all? I think not. Why? What about homework and preparation? I think it's about the same time, so we need to multiply 1,800 by 2 and you'll get 3,600 lessons. Lessons or hours? Lessons, but we are talking about hours. So how much is it in hours? Let's calculate it. Давайте с вами это посчитаем. Let's Let's calculate it. Let's calculate it. Давайте с вами это посчитаем. Let's calculate it. Right. Okay, I started playing chess regularly, professionally when I was 6, and I finished my career when I was 15. I had to prepare for different exams, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, I finished my career. How regularly did I play chess? Let's calculate it. 3 days a week, so it's 4 hours. How much is it? How much is it? A month and in a year. How much is it? Как много это? How much is it in a month? In a month and in a year. 12 hours a week. About 50 hours a month. 600 hours a year. You may think that there are summer holidays and it's less, right? But sometimes you need to prepare for the lessons or something like this. Approximately. For the lessons, для уроков, for the game, для игры. Approximately, I play chess for about 10 years. It's about 6,000. It's about 6,000 hours. I achieved a lot. I achieved a lot. I was playing chess professionally. We might think that if I had played chess for about 10,000 hours, I would have reached a very high level. It's partly right, but not absolutely. Okay, let's talk about English and English. Right. You know, people usually study English at school for 10 years. Correct me if I'm not right. Correct me if I'm not right. Okay, so 9 months a year. How many English lessons do they usually have? I suppose it's every day or 1 lesson a day. They usually study 5 days a week, so it's 5 lessons a week, 20 lessons a month, 180 lessons a year, 1,800 lessons during the whole school period. Is that all? I think not. Why? What about homework and preparation? I think it's about the same time, so we need to multiply 1,800 by 2 and you'll get 3,600 lessons. Lessons or hours? Lessons, but we are talking about hours. How much is it in hours? Let's calculate it. Давайте с вами посчитаем. So let's calculate it. 3,600 lessons. One lesson lasts for 40 minutes. So there are 60 minutes in an hour. So it's 2/3. What do we need to do? We need to divide 3,600 by 3. So it's 1,200. Then we'll multiply it by 2 and we'll get around 2,400 hours. So it's a lot of time. However, I'd like to ask you one interesting question. Really, I'd like to ask you one interesting question. Right. How well do you usually know English when you finish school? It's usually this level, intermediate or upper intermediate. So if so, it's quite good. It means that you spend around 2,500 hours on achieving this level. How many hours will you need to achieve the next level? On average, I think if your level is intermediate, you'll have around, or you'll need, тебе потребуется, да? You'll need around 2,000 hours and a half to reach an advanced level. Right, in total it's 5,000 hours. If your level is advanced, it's very good. Congratulations. However, we need to mention one thing. If you are an advanced student, it doesn't mean that you know English like a native speaker. It's another level. This level is super advanced, and to reach this level, you may need 5,000 hours more. 5,000 hours more, or 5,000, right, 5,000 hours more. 5,000 hours more. So it will be about 10,000 hours. Unbelievable. How can it be? I can't believe my ears. I can't believe my eyes. This information is shocking. English in 10,000 hours. Is it a myth or a reality? What's your opinion? Really, what's your opinion? My opinion is the following. I believe in miracles. And you? What about you? Do you believe in miracles? I believe in miracles, and I'm sure we can learn English much faster. It depends on several factors. So what does it mean? Really, what does it mean to learn? If you know nothing about English, I think it's possible to reach an intermediate level in half a year. I think it's real. I think it's possible. I try to be realistic. Advanced level in 2 years if you study English really hard, but you need to choose the right method of learning. Right? You need to choose the right method of learning English. If you choose the incorrect way of learning English, you can spend, 20,000 or 50,000 hours, but you won't get the result you want. What is more important, quantity or quality? Quality is in the first place. It also depends on your abilities. To sum up, if you want to speak English well, it won't take long. It's easy. I have helped lots of people to start speaking English. If you choose the incorrect way of learning English, So to start speaking English fluently and correctly, if you want to know English like a native speaker, I think it will take about 10,000 hours or a little more if you use the right method of learning. You need to feel progress and grow in confidence. I think you have it thanks to the channel too, right? So I really hope so. So that's why I created this channel. Okay, thanks for watching. So thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it, and see you soon in the next videos. Bye.